What's shaking there, ladies and gentlemen? How y'all doing this evening? This auspicious Friday evening. Sorry I'm late. You know, I've got some other excuse as per the usual. Yeah, my bad, honestly. But I had a couple of things I was working out. Anywho, and I just noted, and of course I named this particular show after that, but I've really noticed as of late, especially since Tucker put out that video, that man, everybody has been taking shots at him. And if I'm being honest, they're kind of cheap shots. Like, if you want to know what I think everybody's kind of pissed off at Tucker, maybe because he's making a good argument. I'm not exactly sure what the reasoning is, but a lot of people on the right have a real problem with Tucker at the moment. Like, or at least they are bashing him. I've seen Steven Crowder totally went in on Tucker. Uh, Ben Shapiro, of course. Nick went in on him. I mean, hardcore. As much as Ben Shapiro went in on him, which honestly I was a little bit disappointed with that. Just why do that? It doesn't make you look good, really. Like, kind of, I don't know, it just comes off beneath him. To my mind, it's beneath him, but whatever, you know honestly, what are you gonna do? But I suppose we'll get the show started. It's gonna be big show. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Night Train. I'm right there with you. I feel the same way about it. I think the guy, he said a few things. The stuff he's talking about makes sense to me. And regardless of any other stuff, any other conclusions people want to draw, the stuff he's saying at face value is not, it's good stuff. And some people would argue that it's childish or whatever, but to them I say, well, where's your where's your ideas? Where's your path forward? And they're bashing him for going in a different direction. Yet at the same time, they talk smack about anybody who's just talking about status quo. At least it's like either people are bashing what he's saying and they don't have a plan of their own. So it's kind of like, maybe you should wait till you've got uh, an idea before you open your trap. Or they're attacking him not for the content he's saying, or not necessarily, but for I guess, the simplicity of it. But at the same time, they're going along with status quo or whatever. But all the people that are bashing him, they're not putting forth any ideas. And that, to me, you know, I think they should just keep their mouths shut. If they don't have anything to say, just keep your mouth shut. You know, it it's not moving the ball forward. They're not even good shows. Like they're making their shows about Tucker, and it comes off as gossip, comes off as a sewing circle. I'm just not into it. Really, I'm just not into it. Anywho, I kind of I had a few different things I wanted to touch on this evening. I suppose I'll go into a couple of the smaller things that I was going to talk about. Uh, okay, here we go. I stumbled across this article last night, and I honestly, it was kind of wild. It was a story about World War II, or something that happened in World War II. Hang on, I'm trying to get the stupid link. Oh, okay, there we go. There we go. I thought I had it all set up. Of course not. Oh, it's the wrong one, of course. All right, here we go. A rich Maharaja took in 1,000 Polish kids during World War II, recreating their home on Indian soil. And it's kind of a heartwarming story, but some of the, anyway, I digress. Let me just get into it. Dig Vijasinji, Ranjitsin Hiji, Jadeja gave them not just food and shelter, but a chance to be kids while retaining their identity. I mean, this was real deal. Bunch of Polish kids, bunch of tow-headed Poles got ran out of Poland for whatever reason, and they got pushed down to India. Well, when hundreds of Polish children arrived in India's Nawanagar state during World War II, they had already been driven from their homes, survived Soviet labor camps, and lived through years of uncertainty. The war had stripped away school, friends, and everyday routines most children naturally build their lives around. According to the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum, the children's journey had begun years earlier, following the Soviet invasion of eastern Poland in 1939. Thousands of Polish families were deported to labor camps scattered across Siberia and Central Asia. After the 1941 Sikorsky-Mavsky Agreement allowed many Polish civilians to leave the Soviet Union, some eventually went or made the long journey south to India. And this is the Maharaja right here. Portrait of Maharaja Jam Saheb Jadeja, 1935. A recent Smithsonian, or creating a space to be just a kid, or just be a kid again. A recent Smithsonian magazine story recounts how Maharaja Jadeja, the ruler of one of India's princely states, Nawanagar, welcomed those children and created far more than a temporary refuge to wait out the war. Instead, he built a community where everyday life could begin again. There in Balachadi, over 1,000 children were given a safe place to stay from 1942 to 46. A special camp was constructed near the Maharaja's summer palace on the Kathiawar Peninsula. The settlement included homes, classrooms, a Catholic church, kitchens, and places to play. The children returned to the classroom where Polish teachers continued lessons in their native language. Religious services and holidays like Christmas were observed, much as they had been before the war. Alongside food and shelter, the camp preserved familiar routines that helped restore a sense of normal life. Instead of wondering where they would sleep or where their next meal would come from, they worried about homework, raced across playing fields with new friends. He treated the children as his own children. Wisław Stipula was only 11 years old when he joined the Balachadi community. In the documentary, A Little Poland in India, Stipula recounted, in this very grim scenario, I was adopted by people of a country I did not even know. It was there I found happiness. Maharaja called the children his own children. He would welcome new groups of Polish children, saying, do not consider yourself orphans anymore. You are now Nawagaris, Nawanagaris, and I am Bapu, father of all the people of Nawanagar, so also yours. He was also dedicated to honoring their Polish identity. This is kind of what oh, shit. Sorry. This is kind of what I was getting at why I wanted to talk about it, because if you notice the language, where they say, honoring their Polish identity. Radya, the filmmaker behind the documentary, explained he insisted that every day the Polish flag should be hoisted in the camp and all children sing the Polish national anthem. Here's a picture of him. Not gonna lie, it's rather heartwarming. I mean, what a great man. Truly. What a great man. Maharaja with kids and women from Poland. Remarkable instincts without the modern humanitarian handbook. What I think is funny is these cocksuckers today in modernity, they think they're fucking special. They really do. And they think that people that were born before them were just downright barbarians. They just stomped all over each other and enslaved each other and this and that. And it's not true. And it's why I sort of am on a crusade against them, especially the modern stuff, the climate change, the safe spaces or the identity stuff. They think they're special. They're so arrogant. So arrogant. And they think that it's on their shoulders. It's the responsibility is theirs to like somehow correct history. It's their job. They're the first generation of human beings that actually gave a shit. It's such bullshit. Bullshit. And I mean, eventually they're going to, that's going to be obvious to everybody. I'm sure as they get older, they'll realize what jackasses they were. But anyway, today global relief organizations like UNICEF emphasize that children displaced by war need more than food and shelter. Education, opportunities to play, and cultural identity. There's their words, their vocabulary there are all important parts of helping children recover from traumatic experiences. 3 ideas are reflected in programs like UNICEF's child-friendly spaces and in a recent guidance from Save the Children, which stresses that children recovering from war need safe places where they can learn, make friends, and settle back into familiar routines. For the children who arrived in Balachati more than 80 years ago, the community the Maharaja fostered became more than a refuge. It gave them the chance to be children again. And I think the article was, it was the article. I mean, it was all right. I think the story though, kind of. First of all, it was heartwarming. Just the fact that these little toe-headed little angels from Poland. I mean, and it just goes to show you that. First of all, back then, people cared. I mean, they cared just as much about children and doing the right thing as anybody today, as any of and honestly, more than most of these SJWs. These people they're not good people. And they think that just because they advocate that makes that makes up for how mean and what a bad person they are. But it's one of those things that shows you, yeah, they're full of shit. There were good people back then. They didn't have to be forced to be good people by governments. They didn't need other people to police them, and they didn't police other people. They did it because it was right, not because they had some virtue or validation or cultural cachet from it. They did it because it was right, and they, it felt good for them. It satisfied them, or for whatever their own reasons are. The people that do this stuff today, if I'm being 100% honest, honestly, I don't think they do it to help people. If you want to know the God's honest truth, I don't think they really give a damn about other people. Honestly. I really don't. They do it for validation. I mean, that's what these people do everything for. They don't do anything that it's like they won't do anything if it's not on camera. They won't even cry alone. It has to be on camera. You know, it's all this performative garbage. It's just downright garbage. And I like to see stuff like this because it shows them for the frauds they are. They're frauds. They're a bunch of frauds, man. And I like to see them, like I said, you know, they use that language in there. Oh, they didn't have the modern handbook for philanthropy and blah blah blah. As if you guys, your modern handbook, you managed to screw it up royally. I mean, they don't, honestly, I feel like the UN, like the United Nations, the ones that were named in that article, I think they don't, they fumble it. They bungle the job, honestly. Most of the time, anyway. I mean, look at Gaza. You know, like it just seems that in particular, and they get on their high horses. They're so special, and they're such good people. Huh, freaking window froze. The hell, man! Like, bro, this shit is incredible. I can't. Hang on, let me pull up another one, bro. That pisses me off. Something decent. Really? Fucking bitch didn't want to. It doesn't. It didn't want to. Stopped responding for whatever reason. I swear, man. If I didn't have no luck, or if I didn't have bad luck, I would have no luck at all, as they say. There we go. Oh, it started. It reopened the one that. Yeah, actually, I wanted to see. Show you guys something I seen Nick's show. He was talking about this stuff, but I don't know what. Let me sort this out. Well, what a pain in the dick. So, I did want to show you guys this shit. I saw a couple of X posts that were interesting. I think you guys might want to check them out. The fuck? Jesus. Shit just stopped responding again. It's such bullshit, man. I swear, and it only happens while I'm on stream. I mean, I know it's streaming, you know, it uses a lot of resources. Pain in the dick. Okay, there we go. I've seen Hassan Piker. He's such a piece of scum. Truly. I mean, truly. Listen to this. Bro. Bro. What the fuck, man? Good lord. Motherfucker, man. It is embarrassing. Listen to this motherfucker.
We're gonna destroy the white race, bitch. That's what we're here to do. We're gonna keep bringing in immigrants in this country on purpose, just so they can fuck your sister, and then maybe even your daughter. We're gonna destroy the white race, bitch. That's what we're here to.
You know, that's fucking crazy. Like, that this guy is actually, like, he's in mainstream American politics all of a sudden. Like, what the hell? You know, and this their immigration policy, it's like, bro, like now we don't want to hear that shit anymore about immigration. Like, there's no fucking way they're doing that stuff with the open borders, because I'll go to the fucking border. If they try that shit again, it's like I'd be willing to go. Fuck them. But you know, I noticed something about them today. Like when we were watching yesterday, that Ryan Grimm. You know how Tucker was talking about immigration, and they swing back to Brian Grimm. He's like, you know, I like what he's saying, but he's not going in on the billionaires enough, the oligarchs. He's like, and when I hear him say stuff about immigration, I'm a little bit concerned that he's just using that, or just using the, ooh, tax the rich, just to get us to be, you know, to make the mistake of voting for him so that he can just do immigration. But, you know, I was thinking, like, bro, how is it that you're talking about the oligarchs and the billionaires and, ooh, the collective, the proletariat, you know, and the working people, and yet at the same time, you're talking about open borders? Fuck you, man. You're no communist. You're no fucking socialist. You don't give a fuck about the average man. Like, straight up, man. If you're just you this is a fucking billionaire policy, Ryan Grimm. And you're like, you're not going to take your foot off of the fucking board, or the, you know, the open border gas. You're not going to take your foot off of the fucking invasion pedal unless we go after billionaires. Oh, so you're in cahoots. You're like, you're on the team of the billionaires until you get what you want, eh? So you're willing to throw your lot in with those same billionaires to fucking, to wipe the white race off out of the country, off the face of the earth, unless we attack the billionaires. Well, bro, that doesn't fucking make sense. You autistic, stupid motherfucker. Like, it's ridiculous. How can any of these people pretend to give a fuck about anybody that's average, but yet at the same time, you know, we can't touch immigration unless we mess with those billionaires? Like, bro, what is with this? It's like they're determined to just destroy us as a people, and destroy our country if we're not willing to go communist with them or something. I mean, that's how it feels to me anyway. I mean, it's so frustrating. Like, oh, you supposedly you're for the little guy, but at the same time, you like open borders. Well, you know, correct me if I'm wrong. It's a fucking Koch brothers policy. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. And I don't know why they're never called on it. How does nobody ever call them to the carpet on this stuff? Like, oh, what a great socialist you are. You've like destroyed your constituencies' wages. They've gone down. And you call yourself, you pretend you give a shit about the middle class or the lower class? Man, fuck you and the horse you rode in on, scumbag. Piss on your nuts. Bro, what the fuck? Fucking pull up, have the YouTube app. I didn't want to use it, but it is what it is, I guess. Good. There we go. There we go. Honestly, I kind of, you know, I seen Candace Owens. She's been like, I guess she's flirting with the idea of debating Mr. Wilson, apparently. I guess apparently that's supposed to be going down, or they're hashing it out currently.
$300,000 to do a debate.
I have a counter offer. He says 300K. Let's make it 500K. Either Blake Neff or Andrew Colvett or Erica Kirk must publicly claim you first.
I would just say yes to everything. I would just say, okay, sure. Yeah, yes to everything. And if TPUSA wants to claim me as one of them, okay, great. Because she's not going to do it anyway. Andrew Wilson, and it's Andy and Candy.
Ah.
So he was back on Joe Rogan, and I highly recommend you go check out the whole episode. They had a lot of fun together. They covered a wide range of topics, to be clear. This is 3 Wilson appearances really in like the last quarter. There was Andrew Wilson, then Rachel Wilson, and then Andrew again. So and I say this because everyone kind of sees this one portion because there's a show and then there are clips. They covered AI. They talked about philosophy, religion. They talked about online discourse. And then, of course, what everyone picks up on, and I get it, is the Andy and Candy potential debate, which I think everyone or most people would like to see.
Right. But have you noticed, like, the flat earthers have fleets of people who will debate their stances? Like, fleets of them who are like, we can't wait to debate with you on the flat earth. It's like, on the other side, though, in this particular conspiracy, you can't get these people to debate their positions.
Like, who won't debate their positions?
Okay. We offered Candace Owens, I offered her $300,000 to do a debate.
Really?
I was like, we'll give you $300,000.
What is her position? What does she think happened?
She thinks that Israel worked in conjunction with TPUSA and Erica Kirk to murder Charlie.
Based on what?
Well, that's the $1,000,000 question.
Nothing.
Okay. So, and just to be clear, and I don't do this for all these. It ends up being, in my opinion, kind of spectacle. And I think Andrew understands that.
Yeah.
I was offered to debate Candace Owens. It was $30,000 a piece from some third-party debate con or something. I said, sure. And then he said, well, Candace said no. I said, well, she can have mine. I'll do it for free. And then we offered to do it on the show. When she called me out, implied that I was a Fed. No response yet. I'm not going to do it back and forth with a bunch of different terms. And you fly here. And we just like, look, we know how to do this. We're all adults. We used to do this all the time. We don't need to change all the rules. Candace, however, decided to respond to Andrew's challenge and seemed to put in some ultra specifics.
For everyone who was like me and legitimately did not know who this man was 5 minutes ago, Andrew Wilson apparently had a presence in the manosphere debating feminists.
Oh, pause. You didn't know who manosphere, apparently? Didn't you write a book called Make Him a Sandwich? And didn't you...
Wow.
Didn't you describe that book as Why Real Women Don't Need Fake Feminism? Damn. Did you just do no research? Because here's the thing. You could say, I work in, I don't know, I'm a nautical engineer, whatever it is. I work in aerospace technologies. I've never heard of Andrew Wilson. But if you write a book on feminism and supporting traditional relationships, how in your research did you not come across the single biggest anti-feminist podcast that has ever existed in the Whatever podcast, where Andrew regularly appears? I don't know. Apparently he does stuff with feminine and the manosphere, which I've never heard of. Buy my book, Make Him a Sandwich, Why Real Women Don't Need Fake Feminism. So right away, I think it's disingenuous, but that's just me, Mr. Silly. Let's continue.
I have a counter offer. He says 300K. Let's make it 500K, right? I just have the hunch, this feeling, gut instinct that you're maybe being backed by Turning Point USA or their affiliates in this debate request. It's just, you don't strike me as someone that has 300K lying around for conversation. Also,
Pause. I don't think you have the money, so let me raise it to make it less likely that you can get the money together for the debate. I really want to do it. Keep playing.
Second counter offer position point that I'd like you to meet is I'm 7 months pregnant. So if you fancy a debate face to face, you're going to have to travel to me. It's common decency. No time limit in the debates. Don't worry. It will be live. We will bring up any documents or evidence that you mention as a part of this case. We have a team, so you can send links live. We are happy to pause and allow you to search for any evidence that you reference if the team can't find it for some reason. No tricks, as long as you want. Like I said, live, so anybody could see if we were trying to play tricks. As a 2A point here, you're not going to be changed.
I think she's full of shit here. Like, she'll end up getting beat. Honestly, I mean, I'm not Andrew Wilson's biggest fan, but I think, he's all right.
Smoking around me, tough guy. Okay, so you're just gonna have to bring yourself and leave your cigs at home. This is actually,
All right,
I would say.
So this sounds a lot like feminism. It's like, come on, tough guy. First off, if you maybe because she said she wasn't familiar, even though she wrote a book on feminism, Andrew Wilson doesn't chain smoke indoors. He leaves to smoke cigarettes. He smokes when he's on his own streams, doing this by whatever you call it, remote, to be clear. So you're not going to do that with me, tough guy. Okay. It's just also this should be noted. This would be the first time Candace has ever done this, to be clear, a live debate without a net. It's not how she conducted it with Nick Fuentes, had it, held it back, sandbagged him. It's not like how I did it with Nick Fuentes or Dave Smith or insert many, many dozens of liberals over the last decade and a half here. This would be the very first time she's done this, what she is proposing. Let's see if there are any other caveats.
The most important part for me, this is what has to happen, third part here. Either Blake Neff or Andrew Colvett or Erica Kirk must publicly claim you first, meaning they must say that they are sending you in to debate on their behalf regarding the Charlie Kirk case. Okay? No worming away after the fact. They don't.
I don't know. I just get the feeling that she's just like, why is she even doing this? Like out of the blue. And Andrew, he has nothing to lose. She's the big shot. And, he's the nobody compared to her, the one that she's pretending she's never heard of before. That's what she's doing. She's pretending that she doesn't know who he is. And what's his name? Steven just totally caught her in that. So I'm not quite sure what the hell she thinks she's doing here.
Oh, we don't really know this guy, whatever.
Okay, so here's the question. All right, because people are saying, oh, she'd wreck you or you'd wreck her. And I have some criticisms of Andrew Wilson, too, who, by the way, is a friend, but I know that it'll appreciate me being fair. Here's the question we need to ask. 2, do we want to see this conversation take place? I genuinely do. You guys can comment.
Yeah.
I would like to see. That's why I said yes when they asked me to debate Candace Owens. Or have a conversation, or she can come on my show, I'll go on her show, I don't care. But I'm not going to do this whole back and forth thing. I understand it's an event. I want to see both sides present their strongest cases. We have maintained, of course, especially early on, that maybe Tyler Robinson didn't act alone. I believe Tyler Robinson pulled the trigger. I believe he's the gunman. We don't have all the details. There could have been other people involved, including just to the degree of encouraging him, or potentially supplying him with tools that could have been useful. There's more information that needs to come out. Well, I don't know everything. I'd like to hear both sides present their strongest case. So 1, do you want to see the debate? Okay. Then 2...
It'll be a good debate no matter, anyhow, no matter what happens. But also, did you guys see Hunter Biden is going to be on Tucker's show in 2 days? Kind of looking forward. I'm going to stream it, of course. Looking forward to that, definitely. But, this is going to be pretty fun too, honestly. Looking forward to that as well. For sure.
Why do you think it's not happening? Who do you think actually wants to have this conversation most? I'm going to make an inference. I don't think you have the money, so let me raise the fee. And that seems to me like she doesn't really want to do it. I said I'd do it for free. Andrew said he'd do it. And by the way, the way he would raise the money, to be clear, he was going to put up $200,000 himself, and I think Brian from whatever, the other $100,000. So it wasn't coming from TPUSA. Then the other requirement, hey, I've accused you of being a TPUSA operative, and I've said in the past that I won't engage with TPUSA operatives because they don't engage in good faith. So admit that you're a TPUSA operative.
You see that?
He doesn't have control over that. It seems to me like she's looking for any reason not to debate. It would be like
I'm not watching Nick's show tonight. I just wanted to watch a little bit of his show last night. It was good. It was like all of his shows, to be honest with you. But just kind of wanted to. He was so petty, so petty.
There goes your fusionist idea. Ryan Grimm isn't excited about it. The Groypers aren't excited about it. Who's in favor?
Damn it.
But I wanted to talk a little bit more about the Tucker Carlson manifesto tonight because I was absolutely...
You know, everybody has just been, like the thumbnail, it's been like a piñata party with Tucker. Everybody has been tuning him up like a cheap fiddle. Tuning him and playing him like a cheap piano. I'm serious. And Ben Shapiro, his critique, it was totally dishonest. He sounded like a little girl. Or it sounded like reputation savaging.
Vindicated in real time.
Nick's isn't much better.
So yesterday I spent most of the show, I think almost the entire show, talking about Tucker Carlson's big announcement last night. It seemed on Tuesday.
Notice how he says it seemed like Tuesday, like it seemed like he was alluding to a third party run. Well, it's like, but yeah, he never actually said that. And I'm not like into defending Tucker, but it seems like a lot of hypocrisy has been going around. They're like, he seems to be alluding to this. And then they go on to spend 10 minutes bashing him for alluding it.
They baited everybody. They made it seem like there was going to be some big thing coming out, and nothing happened. And instead, Tucker baited everybody to watch his show in prime time, and what it really was just a 90-minute monologue. And we went through it last night. It was a pretty, in my opinion, disappointing monologue. He laid out his vision for what a third party might look like or what a presidential run might look like. In reality, what this was a trial balloon. Let's just be totally honest. We all know at the end of the day, Tucker Carlson is going to get behind J.D. Vance. Everybody knows that. Tucker and J.D. Vance are best friends.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how he knows that, but I don't know. This doesn't seem like he's just pitching for JD here. You know, it seems awfully, I mean, he's out in the open. It's very conspicuous. Somebody doesn't do this if they're not considering running. I mean, for sure. And I don't think, maybe, not so sure JD Vance is even going to run, or if he's actually, I mean, it remains to be seen.
Close confidants. They talk all the time. Tucker was one of the biggest supporters of J.D. Vance when he ran for Senate. And Tucker is also in bed with all of the other PayPal Mafia allies, like Peter Thiel, like David Sachs. They're involved together in the Rockbridge Network in 1789 Capital. So those ties run very deep. J.D. Vance is the vice president. And according to the Washington Post this morning, even Trump considers him now, maybe informally, but soon to be formally, the heir apparent of MAGA, the presumptive nominee in 2028. And so we know Tucker is not running for president, and there ain't going to be no third party. That is a big bait and switch. They are tricking you. That is a tease. They're getting everybody excited for a third party run. Oh, it's going to be like Ron Paul. Oh, it's going to be exciting. Teasing a presidential run. They have no intention of doing that. It is not going to happen. They're all going to get behind J.D. Vance. And what the 10-point manifesto was about last night, laying out some of these themes and ideas and this vague vision for the future, he is merely trialing out the rhetoric on behalf of J.D. Vance. Why is he doing this? Well, it's very simple. J.D. Vance cannot overtly position himself as a presidential candidate right now because he's the vice president. So it would be very uncouth to his lame duck superior to be out on the campaign and laying a ground game in the early states. They have to pretend like they're not doing this. It wouldn't be proper. It wouldn't look right. What's more, there's an additional problem. It's not just that J.D. Vance is constrained by the office. It's also that Vance is going to have to do something really difficult when he runs, which is simultaneously he is going to need to seek Trump's endorsement, and he is going to need to defend his work as Trump's vice president, but also Trump's administration. So he's going to need to be very loyal to Trump and Trump friendly and defend Trump. At the same time, he's also going to need to softly break with Trump because Trump is a major liability. Deeply unpopular with independents, increasingly unpopular even with Republicans. He's got the baggage of Epstein, of the Iran war, of all the failed promises, the civil war in the Republican Party. And so Vance is not only not able to begin putting anything out there for his presidential run, he's also going to need to thread the needle. And so what Tucker is doing with the 10-point plan is he's trialing out some rhetoric, trialing some ideas and principles and tactics where Vance in the future is going to be able to have his cake and eat it too. He's going to be able to sort of subtly imply that Trump has not followed through on his promises while also not necessarily explicitly attacking the president. This is the gist. This is the idea. And so anyway, so Tucker puts out this list of 10 principles the other night. We went through them last night, and it's this list of just generic buzzwords. He's talking about how for us to create the next Republican Party, we need to agree on a common vision, and the vision is that we need to be fair and healthy and decent and optimistic and united and all this kind of stuff. And it's a lot of crap. It's just a lot of generic, vague, political garbage. No specificity, no real policies. It doesn't even...
He was laying out a foundational text, bro. A mission statement. You know, a presentation of his values, of the values. I mean, if he's talking about possibly doing a third party and stuff, yeah, this was a rollout where he was basically laying out the, you know, the founding principles, the starting thesis. And you know, I feel like he knows this, and it's just in bad faith. Not gonna lie, like it. Oh shit! It's obvious that that's what Tucker was doing. Why are they going about this bad faith and pretending that, like, oh, he was just being overly simplistic just for the hell of it? Like, no, he obviously had a point that he was trying to make there, bro. Hello, like, he had a purpose for doing that. It's like a lot of people just playing dumb, like they don't get politics. I don't get it.
Really capture a vision at all. It doesn't represent or resemble anything like a vision. It's not tangible. It's not real. You can't actually see it. I wouldn't call it an ideology. I wouldn't call it a doctrine. It's impressionistic. It's very vague. It's hard even to understand what it is. And what I said about it last night is that this kind of thing that Tucker and Massey and Marjorie Greene are trying to do, I said it is deeply flawed. I said because ultimately the only way that we are going to win on the right is as the right. It is fool's gold.
I think he's wrong here, actually. And I think his premise here is he's just built a straw man. Straight up. This is an absolute cut and dry textbook example of a straw man.
To try to skin suit the left by pretending to be a party of the working class and doing this anti-war, anti-elite, anti-rich thing. It seems that the crux of Marjorie Greene, Thomas Massey, Tucker, and Joe Kent's platform and proposal is this idea that we can bring together disillusioned and dissatisfied right-wingers and left-wingers behind a common message, which is that we're all against the war, we're all unhappy with the economy, we're all frustrated with the lack of political efficacy, and so we need to elect someone that's sort of non-ideological, non-partisan, that's just going to go against corruption, end the wars, and maybe some of the foreign aid, tax the rich a little more, tax the working poor a little bit less, and this is going to be like a populist party, neither right nor left, for the people. That's sort of the idea. But I said last night that the problem with this, the reason that this is fool's gold, is because this ignores the political reality. And the political reality of our country is that the left exists. The left is a distinct group. They really believe in what they say they believe, and what they believe is evil. Okay? The left
Son of a bitch.
everything that they represent is so deeply flawed because it is based on a false premise. And the false premise is this. It's the premise that we have more in common with each other than we think we do. That there's more that unites us than that which divides us. Tucker acknowledges there's differences between people. There's even differences between the races, he says. But those differences are marginal, and they pale in comparison to the things we have in common. And what he's effectively appealing to is our economic interests as the middle and working class, our political interests as people that are not politically connected. He says that is the basis, that is the stick-togetherness of the new party. It is that we, right, left, and center, have so much more in common than the things that we think divide us. And the problem is, that's not true. I said,
Really?
because the left hates us and wants us dead. It is only the right, it is only the center right, and even this disaffected group of rightists that are begging the left to like them, begging the left to team up with them, begging the left not to think that they are bad people. I said, because on the left, they fucking hate the right. Do you ever see this conciliatory approach on the left? Never. On the left, it's a competition to see who could be more anti-Trump, who could be more anti-white, who can be more anti-American, who can be more radical, who can be more socialist. The establishment Democrats hate Trump, hate MAGA Republicans, will never work with them. The radical left, the radical progressives, they want to kill us. They literally want to kill us. Establishment Democrats want open borders. Radical left Democrats want to put ICE in prison. They want to abolish ICE and then prosecute ICE officers. Don't believe me? Go to their campaign websites. That's what they're all saying. So, no, that has always been a fantasy. The idea that, you know, we're going to bring the right and left together because we're all against war and we all want more money in our pockets. True. That is a delusional fantasy that only the right believes in. The left does not believe in unity. The left does not believe in decency or health or fairness. They don't believe in any of that. Does the left believe in unity? Absolutely not. Decency? It's the party of weed and drag queen story hour and abortion and porn and smut. Do they believe in fairness? They're the party of anti-white racial discrimination, racial wealth redistribution, DEI. They don't believe in any of that. So no, there's no common vision at all. And I said this the other night, and I know that wasn't well received. A lot of people in the comments and the clips said, oh, you just hate Tucker.
Yeah.
Oh, you just don't
obviously.
like Tucker, and you know Thomas Massey's an anti.
He's all butthurt. This is funny. This is why I played all this. Literally, the shit we watched. God damn it. The shit we watched yesterday, Breaking Points, where Ryan Grimm and Saga and Jetty were, they were talking about Tucker's thing. He's about to go into that. That's what I'm fixing to get on him about.
Sagar and Jetty and Ryan Grimm. And for those that don't know anything about Breaking Points, this is like Tucker Carlson's bread and butter. This is his target audience.
Really?
Breaking Points, drop site news. These are like your right, left populists. They're anti-war, Israel critical, against the surveillance state, economic populists. Ryan Grimm, who's on the show frequently, he comes from The Intercept with Glenn Greenwald. He's like a non-woke leftist that opposes war and surveillance. White guy, I believe he's Anglo, though I'm not sure. So if there is such a constituency for this purple fusionism of anti-war, economic populist, right and left-wing people, this is it. This is where you're going to find it. It's going to be Ryan Grimm and Sagar and Jetty. And I was watching their show, and they together were reacting to Tucker Carlson's platform. And Ryan Grimm said a couple of really interesting things. He objected to Tucker's platform with 2 points. He said, number one, Tucker Carlson's platform doesn't go far enough to punish the oligarchs. He says, there's nothing in here about taxing the rich. He says, and I don't like that. That's not in there.
Yeah.
Tucker's not going after the rich, not going after the...
No, that's not what he said at all, actually. He said, I'm concerned that, because they said, he brought up the immigration, that the rich people making, not getting taxed or getting taxed half as much as everybody else. He said, that's sort of fleeting. And then they have the immigration over here. He said he was concerned that that was just a red herring, or it was just a way to, get them to vote for this. And then Tucker not do anything about the billionaires and just focus on immigration. He was worried about a bait and switch. And he even said, what the fuck? Damn it. I don't know why the fuck that shit just went to Tim Pool. Fucking bullshit, man. Bro. Dude, what the fuck? Fucking cunt.
Not going after...
Just a cunt here too.
Not going after the rich, not going after the oligarchs, the billionaires. And he said another thing. In Tucker's platform, it said we need to have an immigration moratorium until we figure out the full employment effects of AI. And Ryan's response to that, he said, Tucker is diverting populist energy into demonizing immigrants. He goes, I'm in favor of an immigration solution, but you can't demonize immigrants. You can't redirect this populist energy into demonizing immigrants. And in these two things, Ryan Grimm revealed the fatal flaw in this premise that we have anything in common with anyone that identifies as the left, whether they're woke or not woke, whether they're establishment or whether they're progressive, whether it's somebody like Ilhan Omar or Ryan Grimm. And the flaw in the premise with these 2 points is, one, in terms of left-wing economic populism, more is never enough. These leftists, they want to punitively tax the rich. They want to destroy.
They want a rejiggering of everything. So does everybody else. We all want that. Like I said, Ryan Grimm, he said he's concerned that it's a bait and switch. And if he could get Tucker's assurance on the billionaires or the oligarchs, or at least, like I said, get his assurance or flesh that out a little bit more, he's fine with immigration. Straight up, he said he was willing to make the compromise. And then Nick, totally in bad faith, basically says that that's not what he said, that he just totally said, no, it's got to be the billionaires. We're not touching immigration. And I don't get why is he just that hungry to bash Tucker?
Wealth creation in the country.
I guess.
They want to hurt the rich and they want to redistribute all the wealth to the poor. So if you're trying to appeal to the left on economics, it is this endless black hole, taking more from the productive, giving more to the unproductive. It's never going to be enough. Let's say Tucker says we need to increase the capital gains tax. That's not good enough. The left is going to say, no, we need a wealth tax. It's not enough to tax capital gains at 30% or corporations at 30%. No, we need a 5% wealth tax. That's what they're doing in California. We're always going to be taking more, always going to be punishing an ever greater share of production.
Really? I don't get what he's talking about here. Oh, forever going to be doing. It's like, bro, these fucking people have got nothing but fucking tax breaks since I've been alive. Since twice fucking Nick's age. They've been getting nothing but tax cuts. And as soon as somebody fucking starts, both sides start agreeing on something, these people jump in and, try to break it up. God forbid Americans fucking agree on something. Then you get every partisan from both sides throwing a fucking conniption fit over this shit. Bro, what the fuck, man? What? How is this the case? Oops. Whoops. Sorry about that. Yeah. I had to fucking cut the damn program off because the shit was it's no fun for me. I'm sure I know for a fact it ain't no fun for you guys. It's so shit annoys the hell out of me. And there's no way to prepare for it legitimately.
Tax the rich. They want to destroy wealth creation in the country. They want to hurt the rich and they want to redistribute all the wealth to the poor. So if you're trying to appeal to the left on economics, it is this endless black hole, taking more from the productive, giving more to the unproductive. It's never going to be enough.
This is bullshit.
Let's say Tucker says we need to increase the capital gains tax. That's not good enough.
Bro, what are you talking about here? Our fucking wages have gone nowhere but down since the fucking 70s. And the rich, their fucking wealth has just gone nowhere but up. How the fuck can you sit there and fucking pretend that the rich are up against it in America? The rich, they've just been taxed enough. They've been taxed to death. Bro. Fuck you, man. That's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. And I can't fucking believe that he's honestly fucking saying this shit. Everybody knows that they've done nothing but strip us of our wealth for the last half century. There's been a transfer of wealth. Our fucking wealth has gone down. Our Our fucking spendable income per household has gone down. Our overall income, everything has gone down for Americans. And meanwhile, all goods, all fucking rents have gone up. Yet these motherfucking billionaires and rich people that he's talking about, bro, they have fucking cashed in like, I can't even fucking believe it, man. Like, I'm beside myself that anybody, and this is why he's so pissed off. This is why people are listening to Tucker, because they're sick of people pissing down their back and telling them it's rain. Bro, you are not gonna fucking tell me that shit. They've stripped us of our wealth. Rent's gone up. Our wages haven't gone up, and they threw the fucking border open to keep our wages depressed. And this motherfucker wants me to fucking agree with it? Like, no, it's not happening. It is not happening. Like, and people are going into debt to absorb their fucking wages going down or stagnating. For the last 40, 50 years, people have been carrying way more debt. And as life gets more and more expensive, people, their quality of living, their life quality is going down. So they go into debt to slow it down, so they don't fucking crash into the poorhouse too quickly. It just fucking blows my mind how anybody thinks that this is a fucking good argument, that people are fucking receptive to this bullshit. Nah, no, dude. Fuck no. And he's just pissed off that Tucker people are listening. And Nick, he's, his views, they're not up there where he was when he went on his generational run. Him, Ben Shapiro, everybody is fucking livid about this for some reason, that Tucker he's talking to the other people that have Americans' ears, Marjorie Greene, Massey, Joe Kent, and he's not in the cool kids club, and he's all butthurt about it. So now he's like lashing out, and he always does this. He always does this shit where he glazes, or he runs cover for the wealthy that are crooks. Not even, some of them are. So, a lot of them, they're hardworking people. And that's not who we're talking about. And this guy, he doesn't like what Tucker's saying, or he's jealous of Tucker. So he's going to fucking stand up for those people. For those people. We can measurably see that they've been vampiring our wealth. I mean, the middle class practically doesn't exist. None of us can afford houses. And I get it, it's like you don't want to chase off all the people that create value, create wealth. But something's got to change. Okay, maybe they're not the problem. The system is the problem then. No matter what, no matter who the fuck is identified as the culprit here, this shit needs to be reformed. We need a rejiggering. It's that simple. We gotta do, something has to happen, or we're just not gonna continue doing any of this shit. Like, this system just has to end if that's the case. I mean, seriously, if there's no way to relieve this pressure that's been created, well, then it's all got to be scrapped then, obviously. It's all got to, I mean, honestly, it's just getting every year worse and worse and worse. How long are we just supposed to lay down for that? Like, somebody has got to answer for that, whether it be the politicians, the bureaucracy, the billionaires, I don't know. But somebody, because it's not us. It's not us that's doing this.
The left is going to say, no, we need a wealth tax. It's not enough to tax capital gains at 30%. or corporations at 30%.
Or how about like Tucker is talking about? Why did they pay half as much taxes as the guy who fucking goes to work every day and feeds his family? Why? They're just investing. Why do investors get taxed half as much as everybody else? That's a start. And that's what Tucker's been talking about. So the rest of this shit is absolute bullshit. It's just him trying to find something that he can bitch about, that he can find the heart or the impetus to rustle up a good rant. Or maybe he just wants to defend these crooks who've been fleecing us for half a century now. Oh, shit. Damn this thing.
Medicare for all. And we need free child care, universal child care. And we need free college.
Well, you know, the problem with what Nick is talking about, he's saying, oh, these people, they're radical, this, that, and the other. Bro, they're radical because we can't, because we're being pitted against each other. They're radical because they think we are radical. You know, and if we came to that, you know, if we were able to bridge this divide or at least compromise on some things, they would loosen up on this stuff. Because we have this whole own the libs, own the chuds thing. But Nick, he's pretending like we have one option, and that is revolution, or that is dictatorship. And no, that's not the case. That is not the case. Guaranteed. If we came to a compromise with them, they would lay off that shit. Like I said, immigration, the open border, that is totally in opposition to unions and collective bargaining. You know, like, and not only that, a lot of it, like, and that's, like I said, Ryan Grimm, he said he was willing to give on the immigration if he could get some slack on the oligarchs. That's what I'm saying. What we've been doing for the last few decades is we've been going hard to the right, left's been going hard to the left. The harder we go to the right, the harder they go to the left. So chances are, the closer we get to the center, like, you see what I'm saying here? If we're willing to compromise on some of these things, they will come to the center to compromise with us. But what he is talking about, bro, he's talking about civil war. He's talking about the destruction of America. I mean, truly, that's the only, like, we're spiraling. We're spiraling. Tucker's like throwing a life preserver, you know, while we're circling the toilet bowl. Because that's the only way we stand a chance. Seriously, and all of this, the woke, the DEI and all that stuff, that's honestly, that's a reaction. That's totally a reaction to a lot of Republican policies and stuff over, you know, for a long time. I'm not saying they're as crazy, but that's what's been driving them to the left, is us going further to the right. You know, that's the one thing he can't pretend that we've tried to compromise with them. We haven't since before Obama. we've just been at each other's throats, or well, since Obama anyway, since McCain at the very least. But, it's like we've been trying vinegar, man. We've been trying to fight them. We've been losing. I would like to try Tucker's way, like see if we can find common ground and see if we can get them off of this crazy, what they're doing. And a lot of it is just out of spite. A lot of it is just out of spite to fuck with us, to own the chuds. Yeah, God damn it. Pissing me off. But a lot of it, yeah, it's just to own the chuds. And I don't think it's not doing our country any good at all. I mean, truly, it's not helping. So maybe we should try honey at least once.
Tuition, free universal 2-year college degrees. And we need, so a centrist party, the enlightened centrist party fusing right and left, they're never going to beat the left on economic populism, because the left is always going to be in favor of punishing the rich more and giving more away. Never enough. It's Medicare and Medicaid, it's Social Security, it's SNAP, it's Section 8 housing, it's unemployment assistance, it's welfare, now it's free childcare, free busing, government-run grocery stores, rent control, reparations, DEI will give you a leg up, government programs. It's always going to be more, and it's always going to be taking more from the rich. Raise the marginal tax rate, create a wealth tax, millionaire and billionaire tax, more regulations.
And this is just sour grapes. Oh, well, we can't do it anyway, so screw it. He's not offering any alternatives. None. Tucker's trying to find an alternate path, trying to bridge the gap. Nick, he's saying, you're fucking crazy for even trying that. It's not going to work. Well, what do you have? What's your fucking solution in the meantime then, jackass? What is your solution then, Mr. Fuentes? Fucking all-out war because that's pretty much what he's talking about. Civil war, dictatorship. Like, if he can come up with something better, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Why not? But he's not. He's just bashing. He's just tying, beating up on Tucker the piñata.
So, in other words, the only way to appeal to these people is to be a socialist. You say, we want a fair economy. It's not even going to be enough for Ryan Grimm to say, let's raise capital gains tax. No, even someone like Ryan Grimm wants a wealth tax. They want to punish the oligarchs. They want to punish rich people. They want to punish business owners,
Nick, we can look at data and objectively show people that our wealth has gone down, especially in 2008. Our wealth has gone down. Meanwhile, these people's wealth has gone through the roof. And AI's coming about. They're cutting. I mean, it's like, dude, these motherfuckers, this is a good time for them to pony up. They've got nothing but tax breaks for the last fucking several decades. Seriously, several decades. Nothing but tax breaks. And all this shit with the AI and stuff, they're making money hand over fucking fist, man. It is time for us to rework this and figure out something that's fair. Because we've all just been getting hosed down decade after decade. Nobody can afford a house. That's a problem. These sons of bitches have flooded our country with millions of brown foreigners, different foreigners. And Nick is advocating on their behalf. How they're downtrodden. They've just been getting beat up on now for years. We got to cut these guys a break. Taxed enough already, Man, fuck you. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on, dude. You and your fucking laughing at the peons. Laughing at the middle class. He fucking chortles at his stupid little desk. Like, bro, fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Like, bro, where the fuck do you get off? You shit on regular people and you defend these people. That's Nick. That is Nick. He shits on anybody who he doesn't look up to because of their wealth. Anybody who's not Kanye West. Anybody who hasn't sucked their own cousin's dick. He doesn't, he's got a bash. Well, fuck you then, bro. Like, you fucking, why don't you get the fuck out of here then, you Mexican motherfucker? Like, I'll go there. Fuck this guy. Like, bro, why are you fucking tripping over yourself to defend these cocksuckers? Seriously. He's like bashing us to defend these pieces of shit. It's outrageous. Fucking outrageous. Truly an outrage.
People. That's one. Here's the other problem. The left has zero tolerance for any right-wing cultural policies. So you're never going to be left-wing enough on economics, and you cannot be right-wing at all on anything else. You're
Fuck him. I'm gonna fucking replay that. Or well, I'm gonna show you guys what Ryan Grimm said and shove that shit. Prove him wrong. Shut his fucking mouth.
never going to be left-wing enough on eating the rich. You're never going to be left-wing enough on Gibbs, government programs, and you can be 0% right-wing on culture. Tucker says, yeah, maybe it's time for an immigration moratorium, and maybe we should disincentivize illegals from living here. And Ryan Grimm says, whoa, that's demonizing immigrants. The scapegoat is billionaires, remember? Not foreigners and spiritual outsiders. So we're going to have to give up on all the social issues, because here's a little trick that they play. The Democrats, the socialists will say, culture war is a distraction meant to divide us.
Well,
we need to focus on the real issues, like the corporations and the billionaires and the banks and the wars. But are they willing to give up on any?
Oh, well, we're about to look that up right this second there, big dog. Straight up.
The cultural issues?
We're not done yet, is taking on the super rich. Now, fairness, which is number one there.
I think fairness is where he would say that.
But he also, fairness, he shoehorns in a lot of, anti-DEI stuff. Mm-hmm. So I would put in going after the super rich.
Knowing Tucker, though, he doesn't care about taxing rich people. I mean, he attacks constantly. I did a segment with him 5 years ago where he started talking about taxing Jeff Bezos. So it's like...
So he's for it?
I would say so, yeah. I'm not going to speak for him, but saying let's not pay our credit card debt or any of that. I'll be on a show actually in a few weeks.
He's the one that brought up usury. He's the one that brought up this shit where they're getting taxed at half the rate for investing that we are for going to fucking bust ass at work all day. So I think Tucker is, of a mind to tweak some shit.
So I'll ask him.
To me, taking on this oligarch class has to be at the center of any bipartisan, transpartisan, whatever you want to call it.
That's what the left is concerned with. Look, this has got to be rejiggered. We have to reform what's going on here. The economy, whatever you want to call it. We have to reform this relationship here. And I agree, immigration needs to be reformed. These cocksuckers cannot just be flooding our country every time they're about to give a pay raise to people, and they just get the borders thrown open so they could say, well, I don't need to give you a raise anymore. Look at all those people that want your job.
Agenda that brings both sides together, because if you don't, what the oligarch class is going to do is fuel the cultural wars over the things that he says we shouldn't be arguing about. And my fear of the populist rights advocacy in this arena has always been that it will take energy that's aimed at the oligarchs and direct it towards immigrants and say that that's the problem. So on the one hand, there's plenty of immigration policy reform that I think a sensible left can agree with, like a Bernie Sanders style left can agree with. But if that becomes a deflection away from the oligarch class, then I'm out. We have to take.
Is that not fair? That is fucking abundantly fair. Abundantly fair. I agree with him on those fucking bastards. I think that they need to answer for this shit. For the border, they need to answer for the fucking the wages going down. This is their fucking baby. They did this shit. They have fucking caused our wages to stagnate and then go down over the last 50 years. They're the ones that brought all these people in. They're the ones that fucking talked our scumbag politicians into doing NAFTA. So yeah, I think Ryan Grimm is absolutely being 100% fair with us. That is a fucking fair deal. You know, I mean, everybody's happy. He's a leftist for the most part. And him being for these open borders, really, that's not normal. He's doing that they do that just to piss us off. But if they care about workers and collective bargaining, open borders is that's terrible for collective bargaining. But they'll be, if we rejigger something and fix immigration, the right's happy. We're happy that at least, white people are shored up. We have an opportunity, there's a chance that we could bounce back, get our birth rate back. But either way, it stops the bleeding. It stops being diluted. But it's abundantly fair. These people, they have been living high off the hog for many decades now. Since before I was born, before most of us in here were born. It's time for them to answer for all the fucking chicanery and skullduggery that they've been carrying out, that's been taking place. And Nick, he's anything but that. Notice Nick sounds fucking verbatim to what we listened to yesterday from Ben Shapiro. The same affect, the same arguments. It's honestly, it's sad. It's sad. It's kind of tragic. And, I think, honestly, maybe I might give him some slack on that because it seems like he's emotional, but also I don't think he has much to talk about either. But this is not good. I mean, this doesn't really add to his credibility. What, sticking up for people? These people, they don't need Nick to stick up for them. Why does Nick think Jeff Bezos and Sam Altman and these cocksuckers, why does he think that they need him to defend them? No, I'm not putting on Ben Shapiro. We watched him last night.
On the oligarchs. You take on the oligarchs, then let's talk about immigration.
If you were to ask a true...
Bro, he's not bullshitting there. Like I said, immigration historically is the communist and socialist bread and butter. So you can take him at his word there. If he wants workers to get a fair shake, well, then he's going to have to close the border anyway. So for sure, these are honest this guy's an honest broker. And I think they're Anna Kasparian, Cenk. I think those people, they're honest brokers. And, they have become a lot more reasonable over the last few years, especially because of the Israel stuff. But just by way of things have really gotten worse since Anna Kasparian's career started. This country has gotten worse, and she knows it. So they're kind of desperate to get anything positive done because this shit is slipping through our hands. Like the sand is just fucking running through our hands. You know what I'm saying? Like if we need to start acting because this status quo shit, bro, the sand is running through the glass faster and faster and faster. And I think they agree on the left. And I see the way Anna talks about stuff, her getting, sexually assaulted or molested. Like, I'm telling you, she's very sympathetic to our or to Tucker's message. And I think we would be fools not to take that opportunity. Night Train, did you name your channel after mine? Night Train 99. What is this, Alex? What the hell?
Someone like me who opposes mass immigration and oligarchy, we would point out that the oligarchs are the people who wanted mass immigration for cheap labor to exploit, which is literally true, to drive down wages and to make it. So, I mean, but
they can find cheap labor by just moving their factories all
abroad.
Over the world.
Right, but now if you have let's look at the Trump administration. What has the Trump administration done? They have made it so that you have enforcement, quote, on immigration, but with none of the crackdown on mass capital.
Right.
Lawyers, on any of the corporations which employ them, mandatory e-verify, any of the hotel chains, any of these people. That would be, frankly, if you want people to just self-deport, make it illegal to work in the United States illegally. It's really actually not that difficult. They refuse to do that because a huge number of these companies, stock prices, meat prices, all of that stuff would go up. I'm acknowledging that. I just did a segment about burritos, but I will be honest with you that if you enforce immigration very effectively, there will be some sort of a price increase. That's just...
We are in agreement on the immigration. They just, and I understand it. They just want to, they don't want to use these people as a piñata or as a pin cushion. They just want to fix immigration and then stop get away from this topic, from the foreigners topic. They just want to fix the immigration and then drop it, and move on to, bigger fish. But this is the only opportunity we're going to get. I guarantee you that much. We are not going to get another crack at this. So it's quite imperative that we, get our shit together and, see if we can come to some sort of a compromise with the left. All we can do is fail. And then we're right back in the same spot that we were in before. So, we're in that position no matter what. We can't lose.
And the only way to fix that is because, and we talked about this in an earlier segment, because we have not had economic growth much at all over the last 20 to 30 years, yet the very rich have gotten much richer. We have all gotten poorer to make that.
Everybody knows it. Does anybody in here honestly disagree with that? It's fucking palpable. You can see it. We've heard all the stats. They're getting fatter. And it's because of changing technology, changing times, and they've taken advantage of, the Great Recession, all that stuff. It's just time to rejigger this shit, because it's set up for the country that we had between half a century and a century ago. We're in different times. We seriously need to take an honest look at a lot of institutions and the way things work in this country
to make that possible. And one way that we have kind of staved off a real collapse of the complete and total collapse of the middle class is what Tucker talks about, is debt.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're kind of, that's basically kind of foaming the runway for this crash landing that is coming.
Right.
The middle class is trading away its assets, giving the assets to the rich, taking on debt so that their quality of life doesn't deteriorate too quickly. But then when the next crisis comes, they're gonna say, oh, well, you no longer are interesting to us.
Now let's do the turn though. After we've said all this is good.
All right.
Third parties are bad. Sorry, I'll say it. They don't work.
Do we have anything else though? Well, that wasn't 10.
Oh, that was number 10.
Oh, that was all 10.
Yeah, that was all
okay.
10. But see, Ryan, this is look, Joe, nice guy. Obviously, I like Tucker. But third parties don't work. There's no third party which is meaningfully going to win. If you want, we have a very recent test case which had a promise of working, is ended up being Trump who screwed them and the leaders of said third party, where you actually saw a third party candidate who was very effective with his coalition. His name is RFK Jr. You can hate RFK Jr.
Or Ross Perot. I mean, he did pretty damn good. Dude took out a bunch of commercial time on I think he took out an hour of time every day on like all or CNN or something, and did like a little school session every day or once a week. Did an hour school session talking to the American people face to face about how crooked everything is. And he kept Bob Dole from winning. That's for sure.
Jr. was an independent candidate, originally Democratic candidate. Maha was part of the coalition. Trump called him and said, look, I need Maha as part of my coalition. You will be my HHS secretary. You will come and campaign for me. You will get X, Y, and Z. Now, obviously, Trump ends up subsuming that. Corporate interests and all of that take over. However, Maha got, X, Y, or Z thing. Right. The stupid shit that they're obsessed with, like cane sugar Diet Coke, or cane sugar Coke at Steak and Shake. Whatever. All right. But my point being that they took Maha and subsumed it into the Republican Party.
Are they going to ever compromise on open borders? Never. Are they going to compromise on defund the police? Never. Are they going to compromise on abortion, trannies, weed?
Bro, defund the police. They have to. I mean, come on now. It's ridiculous. Like I said, a lot of these policies, these are own the chud policies. Straight up. And a lot of the stuff we talk about is own the libs. At least we exaggerate it to own the libs. Like Nick, my body, or your body, my choice. He didn't really care about it like that, but he sure as hell said that and pretended like he cared about it.
Homelessness, never. So what they're saying in a word is the right needs to shut up and accept left-wing values on everything. And we also need to be socialists. 0% tolerance for deporting illegals. 0 tolerance for a closed border. 0 tolerance for any of these other right-wing policies. So
closed border is a left-wing policy. It's literally a communist policy. It's literally a collective bargaining policy to have closed borders. It is not just a right-wing policy. It's left and right. That's a fact.
In other words, to make Ryan Grimm happy, you have to be a socialist on economics and you have to be left-wing on every other issue. If you're right-wing on immigration, you're demonizing immigrants. If you're right-wing on trannies, you're a transphobe and you're being distracted by the culture war. If you're right-wing on religious liberty, that's a culture war issue. That's a distraction. Accept secularism and be a socialist. So in a word, the only way to appeal to the left is to become the left. They will accept nothing less because they believe in what they believe in. These people like Tucker want to say, the left is fine if you just take away open borders, trannies, feminism, BLM. But that is the left. You take that away and it's no longer the left. That's what makes them the left. And they're not willing to just give up those things the way right-wingers are. Right-wingers are looking to give things away. Right-wingers are looking to make compromises because they don't really believe what they believe. They don't really take this stuff seriously. Right-wingers are willing to play let's make a deal. The left isn't. Because to the left, the reason...
We just heard it. Like Ryan Grimm even said, he said, I'm willing to do that if they're serious about, some reform, changing, tweaking some stuff. And Nick, he just, literally constructed this straw man argument. And then, he goes right to burning it down. Total straw man, 100% a straw man.
They're able to hand wave away every other issue and say that's culture war is because they don't even believe there's other positions. What do I mean by that? They believe that you're either in favor of trans liberation or you're a Nazi. They say you must accept transsexuals, and the existence of transsexuals means that we're giving hormone blockers to children, and then they're going to play on the soccer team. They say, and if you don't believe that, You want to genocide and erase trans people because you're a fucking Nazi and we want you to die.
You know, I think I can find out what the left says on my own. I don't really need to take your word for it, homeboy. Straight up, bro. If I want to know what the left's saying, I'll go fucking listen to them. I don't need you to fucking fill me in on it.
So what they see as culture war is our insistence that, like, we have other beliefs. When they say, oh, that's all culture war, they mean accept left-wing supremacy on every moral and cultural issue. Same with immigration. They say there's no illegal human beings. You know, this is a nation of immigrants. Everyone can be American. English doesn't even need to be the official language. Oh, you're against that? You're a white nationalist. You're a white nationalist, white supremacist Nazi who believes the racist idea that this is a white country and ICE is like the IDF of America. That's why they say it's culture war. In other words, the left, their culture positions are their positions. These are moral values. These are things that really matter. If you disagree, they think the right is being tricked. In other words, they think all right-wing politics is a big trick by the billionaires. They don't believe they're in the culture war. They don't believe they're being tricked. Their values are real human values, the only values a person could have. It's the right-wingers that have been brainwashed by the billionaires and the capitalists and the military-industrial complex to be racist and sexist and believe in false hierarchies and false divisions. And that's why we need to undergo re-education and unlearn culture war. And we need to realize that gay liberation's the only way and mass migration's the only way. And BLM and DEI is the only way. And then we can all focus on eating those racist rich white billionaires together. So that's the only way to win over the left, is to become the left. And here's the other part. So I saw this with...
Bro, we haven't even tried to compromise with them. That's kind of what pisses me off here, is he pretends like we've just been trying desperately to meet them halfway. We've been, and they just won't budge and this and that. It's like, bro, who the fuck, like, bro, do you think you're talking to like foreigners, people that haven't been paying attention or that have no clue? Like, dude, we have been waging war with them. And we've been getting our asses kicked. And that's kind of what, like, I don't get it why he's saying this, because it's like, dude, like, we can continue to be at war with them. And, you know, it is what it is. Like, we can carry on doing that, but it's like, we are losing. So I'd rather try something else. Maybe we can fix it. Like, and I see what you guys are saying, that things are screwed. It's like, well, dude, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. You know, if that's the case, I'm damn sure gonna exhaust every other possibility, every other choice before, you know, I just give up and go to that. You know, there's certainly other... You know, like, I'm sure that things looked pretty dark during the Depression, but we got through it. You know, I mean, we've been through tougher than what we're going through.
Grim. And then I saw Ben Shapiro's response to the Tucker video. Now, obviously, we don't agree with Ben Shapiro on much, but Ben Shapiro does represent a lot of conservatives, I think. And there's a lot of conservatives that still like Trump. And there's a lot of conservatives that still believe in the free market, and they still believe in a lot of these things. And traditional conservatives are not going to like this platform at all. And so what this does, suffice to say, is this platform does not satisfy the right-wing base. Whatever you want to say about the right-wing people. This fusionist platform, it doesn't appeal to conservatives. It doesn't appeal to MAGA people. It appeals to this like it appeals to like Dave Smith. It appeals to,
He even said at the beginning of the show that he got a lot of blowback when he talked crap about this. and that everybody's accusing of sour grapes and this and that. So obviously somebody disagrees with you in your own audience. And Ben Shapiro, he's sure pissed off too. It's like, honestly, a lot of the right people are pissed off about what Tucker's doing. So I kind of like it. I'm kind of like, even if that's all it accomplishes is pissing these people off, like Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, like, all right, I'm game. Let's do it. It's straight up, I am game.
These types of people, and I like Dave, but that's not a huge constituency. And it also doesn't win over the left. It doesn't win over any left-wingers that believe in BLM. It doesn't win over any left-wingers that believe in open borders and all that kind of stuff, that still believe Tucker's a white nationalist. So who is it really for? What's the constituency for this kind of like colorblind meritocracy, like soft on everything, middle of the road path? It's for nobody.
I think he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I mean, I could show you guys evidence of this, but I think a lot of people really are coming to the conclusion that, yeah, we've been getting sold a bill of goods, a bunch of horseshit. Black people, I've seen it, random videos that popped up in my feed of black guys saying, hey, like, I used to be a Democrat, but like, them telling me that the white guy's the problem. Just like the Republicans have been telling the white guy that I'm the problem. He's like, that's bullshit. Like, we need to, fight these bastards together. So he's wrong. He's wrong, and it can't hurt. It cannot hurt to try. And at least when we try, at least we can say we tried. We exhausted all other opportunities, all other options before we, went with the nuclear option, as it were.
No constituency for this. It will be outflanked by the left on economics and the right on culture. Because the right is going to say this middle of the road thing isn't anti-immigrant enough. It's not pro-white enough. It doesn't protect Christians. It's not conservative enough. And that's going to be true. And the left is going to say it's run by a white nationalist. Like Tucker's a white nationalist. Vance is an accomplice to Trump, who is the Epstein leader, et cetera, et cetera. This platform doesn't eat the rich enough. It doesn't punish white people as much as we'd like. So they...
Honestly, and that's another reason why I actually don't think that he's not trying to team up with JD Vance, because I think JD Vance is screwed. I think he's cooked because of his association with Trump now. And yeah, so Tucker, I think he may very well be running for real, because Nick said he thinks he's just gonna end up with JD Vance. It's a foregone conclusion. I disagree. I disagree, man. I think JD is cooked. And Tucker's the only buddy on either side. Well, he's in the middle now, but on either side that is talking any sense and that is actually talking about stuff that means something to me. Nick, he's dishing up the same old slop that they have been feeding us since I was born. Straight up.
They don't want it either. It's a load of crap. So I'm telling you, this is not the answer. The answer is we have to win as the right. We have to run a right-wing candidate that is a real nationalist. The answer is not populism. The answer is nationalism. The answer is not trying to be a left-wing economic populist. It's to be a nationalist. And that is the Trump platform. Trump was not really running a left-wing playbook.
Bro, are you really talking about Trump now? The guy that you despise for being a traitor, a turncoat? Like, I can't even believe this. He really must hate Tucker to actually... He hates Tucker so much that he's willing to shill for Trump and the billionaires and millionaires and the people that have flooded our country with incompetence and ethnics and coloreds, as well as, you know, causing our wages to decline over a half century. I mean, seriously, it's not a good look. It just is not a good look for Nick. Anywho, moving on. Bro, I don't know why this is about her and that Andrew Wilson, the call out. I guess he called her out. I watched a little bit of it. But she was kind of full of shit. But look at that lipstick. Anybody else agree that it makes her look almost more like a primate? More like, you know, a chimp?
Well, here's my counteroffer. Now that I know that Turning Point's in the orbit, right? Andrew Wilson, it has come to my attention that an individual who I had literally never heard of in my
bullshit. She wrote about him in a book. And that's why Andrew Wilson was dunking on her in his call out video, because she's like pretending that she has no idea who this guy is. And it's hilarious if you want to know the truth.
Life, went onto Joe Rogan signaling that I am scared to debate him regarding the Charlie Kirk case and that he's offered me $300K to do so. So just so you know, the backstory leading up to this moment is that the host of the Whatever podcast, who I do know, a guy named Brian Atlas, reached out to my PR guy, Mitchell, with an offer of $50K for me to debate this person. And then he upped the amount, I think, to $150K initially. I immediately dismissed it. I genuinely had never heard of the name Andrew Wilson before.
Oh,
and
that's how you're going to play it. Oh, I didn't recognize the name. Okay.
Assumption was that this was a PR ploy, a move for some young influencer that was coming up through the ranks and had a little bit of money to spend to get their name out there. It's almost like, and people do this, you try to buy an ad for yourself. It's an industry strategy to get your name out there. Of course, the Charlie Kirk case was not some gimmick to me. We have not been asking for money, just a public discussion with Turning Point USA, one of their affiliates, regarding the case, whether that be Blake Neff, Andrew Colvett, Erica Kirk, Yankin Bank Frank, somebody who was there on the scene that day. We've offered them the floor repeatedly. Now, what I had not appreciated until people began sending me clips of this Andrew Wilson guy following his sit down on Joe Rogan is that he is sort of affiliated with Turning Point USA, another person in their orbit that they're boosting, so much so that he's apparently hugging Erica Kirk at Turning Point USA headquarters. I will let you take a listen to what he told Joe Rogan during their sit down. Take a listen.
We offered Candace Owens, I offered her $300,000 to do a debate. I was like, we'll give you $300,000.
What is her position? What does she think happened?
She thinks that Israel worked in conjunction with TPUSA and Erica Kirk to murder Charlie.
Based on what?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. Nobody actually knows. She's never presented a single shred of evidence thus far that Israel ever worked to murder Kirk, that Erica Kirk certainly didn't. In fact, her position for the longest time was, if Erica Kirk comes out and tells me to stop the conspiracy on this, I will. So Erica did. She went out publicly and she was like, enough. You're just causing more problems than good here as this investigation's going on. And then suddenly Erica's now part of the conspiracy. By the next day, she's trying to cover it up. She's part of the conspiracy too. When I went to the TPUSA HQ, and I talked to Erica briefly while I was there. The first thing I did was what I think every normal, moral human being would ever do. I gave her a hug. And I told her how god-awful sorry I was that happened to her.
Man, how virtuous.
Like, could you even imagine?
What a virtuous guy he is, right?
That's got to feel for her, especially now that she has tens of thousands of people accusing her of murdering and conspiring to murder and then cover up what happened to her own. I mean, that's like mind-boggling psychological torture on a level that I've never seen.
Yeah, and hindsight is 20/20, but given the reaction, I think it probably would have been better for her to like lay low for a little while.
1,000%.
the going out with the sparklers was not a great idea.
No.
Like all that was not a great idea
Not a good
because it
idea
just
at all.
seemed insane.
Crazy.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it made her look like a psychopath that had her husband get killed. Honestly, and like a lot of stuff that we've been told we're crazy or we're Nazis if we even think about it. A lot of stuff in the last few years that we were told only Nazi conspiracy theorists talked about, and all of a sudden, genocides are being committed. A lot of weird stuff's happening, dancing Israelis on 9/11. So it's like, bro, spare us the shame about questioning Erica Kirk. Bro, she is a public person. She knew what she was getting into when she entered the realm, and she took on this mantle like she swears Charlie said. She's a big girl. She's not above this. If she didn't, she shouldn't have come out and done the sparklers. If she did, like, because her doing that, okay, well, obviously she's not grieving all that much. She's fair game. I mean, as far as I see it, I don't see anything wrong with that. She took a risk by that. She should have stayed at home with her kids for a little bit. No. She starts jumping into Charlie Kirk's shoes like that week. It was absurd. I mean, who does this? And she is creepy. Creepy, and she's obviously she's an ambitious person. She spent her whole life trying to become the head of something, become a superstar, and lo and behold, she becomes one after her husband gets assassinated. Huh. And she's a spook. The lady's a straight up asset. Her family are assets. Bro, I mean, spare me, bro. Spare me. I don't want to hear that shit about, oh, I'm a bad person. Okay, whatever, man. I mean, I don't want to hear that shit anymore. And she made her bed. She made her bed. And she's whatever Charlie Kirk thought she was, she certainly didn't turn out to be that. Charlie Kirk did not tell her to take over his organization, did not tell her to stick his kids with some babysitter or with some leftist, possibly. Charlie Kirk did not do that. I'm not going to believe it. She's already pregnant. Oh, wow. Wow. Dude. What a bad person. Like, well, it's not that I wouldn't say she's a bad person, but honestly, I don't believe for a second that she felt anything for Charlie Kirk. I don't believe that for a second. She's been playing a part. She had 2 kids for an acting job. As far as I'm concerned, that's what she did. That's what this is. She applied for a part in an operation, and it required that she have children, and she did it dutifully. And there have been operative spies, people that have done way more than that. Undercover people. The government, you cannot put this past the government. Donnie Brasco, ring any fucking bells? Dude went undercover for like decades and fucking basically took out the mafia in America. Bro, I'm sorry, but no, that shit is on the table because the government put it there. Not because I fucking am the one that sends in plants. They're the ones that do that stuff. And we would be fools to not put it past them. We're playing for keeps here, and they're in control, and they're trying to maintain that power and control.
Rogan for saying that. People were going, yeah, okay. Now I'm interested because first off, I wasn't expecting Andrew Wilson to look like that. I understand, I guess, perhaps could probably guess how you magically fell into money to be running around offering $300K for a conversation. And I also now understand, having looked into it, why Blake Neff and Andrew Colvat seem to be boosting you on X. Now, for everyone who was like me and legitimately did not know who this man was 5 minutes ago, Andrew Wilson apparently had a presence in the manosphere debating feminists. And that would explain why he was appearing on the Whatever podcast, which regularly features these sorts of debates. I've been on the Whatever podcast and I've done these debates, so has Charlie Kirk. But now, of course, for, I guess, either the right price or a chance at staying or being in the limelight, he's willing to sort of flip his position and kind of present himself as a feminist right there, tasked with defending Erica Kirk, taking over her late husband's company, a $250 million organization, while the kids are back home with no parents as she travels the country. Now, he's sympathetic to those positions. Now, Andrew Wilson looks to be about 50 years old. That's the best that I could do in terms of finding his.
You know, if she had any sort of tact and intelligence, she would have just said any day, any time, name the place and time, and not play into this shit. None of this mudslinging, none of this trying to spin or turn this guy into a monster or make hay off of his backstory. She should just be about it. You know what I mean? Just let her own skills, her own, let her stuff do the talking. Honestly, she would really come off looking like a badass. Truly. This mudslinging stuff is gross. Really, it's gross. I think it's beneath both of them. Or, well, for sure, her anyway. Hey, what's up, Krieger? Yeah, it has been a minute.
Age, another point that I really was surprised by, because again, I thought this was like someone younger coming through the ranks. Worry not, though, because when he debates, he's always drinking a beer.
No,
so
he's smoking a cigarette. What the fuck? You've never watched his show, so why are you saying always? You've never watched his show. Keep your mouth shut, negress.
You know, he's cool. His ex-profile pic is of him smoking a cig because that's like 50-year-old man doing.
Because that's literally him on his show. Like, honestly, is she gonna beat up on the guy because he smokes cigarettes? Well, bitch, you wear lipstick like a fucking like an idiot.
Is crazy. That's his brand or something. He's like Timu Danny Zuko from Greece, but with a potty mouth, to be sure.
Wow.
Greece was a clean movie.
Wow. Andrew Wilson is anything but Danny Zuko. He's a bit of like an offbeat, you know. He's certainly wasn't one of the cool kids in school. You know, I mean, he's good at debating. He's not. I'm not saying he's a nerd or anything, but he certainly wasn't the fucking quarterback of the football team. What is she talking about?
Hand jive. I actually really liked it. He chain smokes throughout debates and he denigrates people so that people know just how like fresh to death he is. I really shudder at this prospect. Well, here's my counteroffer. Now that I know that Turning Point's in the orbit, right? Andrew Wilson, currently trending on X, by the way, for having lied to Joe Rogan throughout this entire interview. This obviously backfired. The comments are amazing, making fun of him and nobody buying the Erica Kirk slop, the Christian slop, trying to emote to make us feel like anything that's happened since Charlie Kirk's assassination makes sense, or that we should feel bad for caring and investigating. But anyway, he's trending because he similarly in this discussion with Joe Rogan lied in relation not just to me, but tried to like pretend that I'm somehow tangential to the leftist Un-F America tour. I've never so much as spoken to them, but then he also lied about them. He's accusing them of like laundering money and doing this on Joe Rogan's platform, absent any fact check.
Oh my
He just lies. I guess that's where they're at right now. Turning Point just needs people that are willing to lie. Nonetheless, like I said, I have a counter offer. I also remind you guys about the wellness company because you've probably heard there's an outbreak in the US right now. The CDC has confirmed the culprit is a new parasite.
No matter no matter how it goes down, she's not going to lose her audience and he's not going to lose his. You know, really. They're just beating each other up to, damage each other's reputation going forward, but they have their own audiences. I doubt she wins though.
Gut instinct that you're maybe being backed by Turning Point USA or their affiliates in this debate request. It's just, you don't strike me as someone that has 300K lying around for conversation. I mean,
What if he
not with
doesn't?
that smoking habit in
cares?
today's economy, right? And given the fact that Turning Point USA has raised $40 million in one night off of Charlie's blood, literally encasing his bloody microphone at a fundraiser event so that his grieving
that's
widow
so
could be
creepy.
captured by the camera standing next to it.
So creepy.
I think 500K feels more appropriate. They want to invest in you.
Bro, what the man? These people are ghoulish. This is some ghoulish stuff. Like, what did they go gather up all of these props? What, so they could put them in plexiglass cases? This shit is wrong, man. It's so wrong. They assassinated this guy and now they're making him into a martyr. They're turning him into a like voodoo or something. Like seriously, this is weird, man. It's not Christian, that's for sure. Fucking idolatry.
You're their guy. Tell them that's what it costs. What's 500K between old friends, right? Also, my second counter offer position point that I'd like you to meet is I'm 7 months pregnant. So if you fancy a debate face to face, you're going to have to travel to me. It's
What does she have? 7 or 8 now? Frick.
decency. No time limit in the debates. Don't worry. It will be live. We will bring up any documents or evidence that you mention as a part of this case. We have a team, so you can send links live. We are happy to pause and allow you to search for any evidence that you reference if the team can't find it.
It's so funny how all these people that came up through around 2016, they came up when the culture had flipped recently, where the counterculture and the nonconformists settled down and got married and had kids. And it's so funny because when that happened, you get this crop of people that do it immediately. And then as soon as they do it, they start pointing at everybody else and saying, why don't you get your shit together? Like, it's just, for real though. How can I gain some cultural capital so that I can fucking, wag my finger at everybody, tell everybody else what they should be doing and what a good person is. And, so I can impress my values and try to impose my own fucking beliefs on everybody. She was a part of that crop.
Some reason, no tricks, as long as you want. Like I said, live, so anybody could see if we were trying to play tricks. As a 2A point here, you're not going to be chain smoking around me, tough guy, okay? So you're just going to have to bring yourself and leave your cigs at home. Oh. And this is actually, I would say, the most important part for me. This is what has to happen. Third part here. Either Blake Neff or Andrew Colvett or Erica Kirk must publicly claim you first, meaning they must say that they are sending you in to debate on their behalf regarding the Charlie Kirk.
I honestly, I don't get the feeling that they are behind it. I mean, maybe they will be now, obviously, but honestly, I think Andrew Wilson, he's still kind of small potatoes for the most part compared to Candace anyway. Honestly, and he's good at debating. He doesn't really lose. People champion him. A lot of people see him as a champion or a hero. And he just fucking harpoons your stupid negress ass. He literally just got you. He just buffaloed you into like a debate with him, and he's like a nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like he totally, I mean, he maneuvered well. Excellent maneuver. Dude got on Joe Rogan's show, which is an opportunity, and leveraged that opportunity. Leveraged his interview with Joe Rogan to have a debate with Candace Owens. Genius maneuvering. Honestly, I mean, maybe he's obviously the guy's got a little. He's got a more than I gave him credit for. He's got. I mean, I never thought he was stupid, but this is very. This was a very delicate and skilled, technical maneuver he just pulled there. He parlayed a Joe Rogan show or interview into a debate with Candace. And good on him. You know what? Good on him. Good for Andrew Wilson. I hope he does well. And I don't wish Candace Owens bad. I just, I hope Andrew does well.
Case. Okay. No worming away after the fact. They don't get to be, we don't really know this guy, whatever. They're boosting you.
You're the one that's insisting.
You're at the headquarters teaching people how to debate.
And I'm willing to bet just because she is insisting that they have the debate, if Turning Point claims him, that means that they have nothing to do with him. And this is her attempt to wriggle out of it, like she does with everything. She did it with Brigitte Macron. She tried to do it with, I forget, somebody else that was Dave Smith. Somebody she tried to wriggle out of that shit the last second. And she's trying to wriggle out of this.
I tell you, from the outside, it kind of looks like Turning Point USA scraping the bottom of the barrel, looking for influencers. And they've now arrived at people who are just amoral, who will lie about what people have said and intentionally misrepresent their positions, and who I would say are not reminiscent of the honest debate strategy and style that was once employed by their company founder. I mean, Charlie Kirk's brand was clean and respectable. Here is Andrew Wilson, who,
not really.
I'm not kidding, Turning Point USA says they welcomed him to teach others how to debate. Here's him debating a feminist leftist. Her name also happens to be Charlie. Take a listen.
I'll try to rephrase this. I'm going to reframe, and I'm just going to be totally honest with you. I will never be able to convince you of my worldview.
You won't.
I know. But the reason is not because I'm not a great orator, or I don't make good points, or I haven't said things which should be compelling to a person. But Charlie, I just think, honestly, you're too fucking stupid to understand them.
So, Andrew, can I sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you
under
you lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What is that?
You're a dyke. Don't talk about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
Your wife with the 3 baby
What did
daddies?
I just say, dyke?
Your wife with the 3
Sorry,
baby
I'm sorry,
daddies?
dyke. Is she morally inconsequential in comparison?
He really showed his ass here, didn't he? Really showed his ass here. She looked like a cunt for bringing up his wife. Now he looks like an asshole for taking the bait like that. If he had just let it bounce off of him, she would look like a bitch. Like, seriously, just because somebody says something to you doesn't mean you have to acknowledge it. Doesn't mean you have to, allow it to land. You can just pretend it never happened, and a lot of times that's the wise move. You don't have to respond. You don't have to hit back every time. It's much better strategy to pick your moments, pick your shots, let them swing wild. That shit didn't have to hit him. He could have not even acknowledged it. Let it go, let it go right out the window. Who gives a shit? Like, I'm not going to sit here and talk about my wife with you, you stupid. Like, what concern is it of yours? Mind your own business. You pick your battles, you're going to let this bitch rile you up? This stupid feminist, you're going to let her fucking buffalo you? Literally, what you did to Candace, she just did to you. And now you look like a jackass. Excellent. Well played there, sir.
Your ditch licking?
Do the men that you try to
do the women that you try to
your hatred against
do the women that you try
convince them
to
that they shouldn't
Charlie, did I bring
women? Do they know
Charlie,
that
did
your
I bring
wife
your
is 5
family?
years older?
Did I bring any of your family into
Why didn't you start with that, you fucking idiot? All you had to do was start with, did I bring up your family, ma'am? Excuse me. Now you're a fucking douchebag. Like, I kind of feel like an idiot for saying good for you. Because obviously, either, you don't have, your self-esteem is, you're not very sure of yourself. You're not very secure in yourself. Or you're just an idiot, whatever. That was a big error, unforced error. Totally did not have to step on that fucking landmine. Like, wow.
Stupid.
Did I say anything about your family being stupid, Charlie?
You could.
It's
You could
because
go
I'm
for it.
better than you, Charlie.
No, it's because you're embarrassed, and you know that the
Really?
traditional values that you try to sell people on are bullshit because
Let's
you
go
are not
through
a
it.
traditional man.
Chuck, let's go through it.
You are not a traditional
Let's
man.
go through it, Chuck. Tell me what I'm doing, which is immoral.
We probably should have bleeped out a little bit more in that clip. I don't even know what some of those words mean, but that's him in a nutshell.
Ditch licker.
Just kind of curses and smokes cigarettes and tries to denigrate
He
people.
just got,
and
like, whether or not he won that debate or not, that was not a good look, man. That was not good. And he's supposed to be the guy that's sort of above the fray and just kind of untouchable because he's so good rhetorically. He's good with the repartee, but obviously he's not that good. Because that woman accomplished her goal there 100%. That's exactly what she wanted him to do. And he fucking did it. How fucking, bro, that's so weak, man. So weak. You let this bitch, straight up, bro, you let this woman provoke you? Like, man, you have to rise above that shit. Like, that's the name of the game. You got to be able to take those and keep your composure. Homeboy just totally lost his composure. Like, dude, it's just, he's got work. Maybe he's good at logic, but, socially, or, that was a big time error. That's what exactly, bro. And it was a typical female move. She fucking went for the low blow. Bro, she couldn't get through with anything else. And then she thinks to herself, oh, I know what'll work. It works for all my girlfriends. I know exactly what'll work. I'll fucking I'll bring up his wife and her 3 baby daddies and make out like he's a cuck. That'll get this idiot. That'll get this fucking chud. Sure as shit. Sure as shit. Straight up, man.
again,
Does
just
a
to give
bear
you guys
shit
the
in the
proof
woods?
here, Andrew Kovach claims they did pay him, but only to come and teach their students how to debate. Here's his tweet. He wrote, "Nope, he was paid for 1 day of the debate training for our students and campus debate team. He's not, quote unquote, being paid, but seeing how much they seem to hate that idea, maybe we should see if we can work something out. LOL. Oh, LOL. Great. I think we should work something out. I do." And Blake Neff sharing clips of him on the Joe Rogan show. He does a great job on Joe Rogan dissecting several of the conspiracy theories around Charlie's death and answering Rogan's questions about them. Worth the watch. Okay. So yeah, that's my counteroffer. I want Turning Point USA on record, just to recap, saying that you are representing them in this debate. You know, that they're not going to shirk responsibility and pretend like, oh, we just paid him one time. Yeah, he's going in there and we want him to debate on our behalf. You will also have to come to me, to another point 2A. Obviously, you will not be chain smoking around me.
Why does she think that, like, where does she get off making demands? the fuck are you talking about? You're the one that said that you would debate him or whatever. That's what he brought up with Joe Rogan. Like, she feels she has to, she's got to ante up and do this debate. Well, where the fuck do you get off making demands and shit? Like, this is kind of supposed to like a fair debate, and he hasn't done anything. He's not desperate to make this happen. I think it's kind of weaselly of her to try and get, like get him smeared with turning point, whatever. Like, it just seems kind of gross. I don't get it. I've never liked her, but whatever.
And 500K because they can afford it. We'll leave it at that. Those are my counter terms.
Big shot over here, huh? Truly. I mean, first Mrs. Wilson. Oh, I see. Huh. That's funny. She's such a weirdo, truly. Of this bullshit. I got a couple of good ones, yeah. Oh yeah. Anyway, a couple of bookmarks. Give me
which is that, like,
Here's
if you have these millionaire, billionaire, WASP fail sons, at least taking them out of other colleges so they can only do date rape to other billionaire, millionaire fail daughters is, like, in some respects, from a utilitarian perspective, of course, a little bit better.
Who the fuck are you, bro? Like, I think those women can fucking take care of themselves, homie. I don't think they need you. This fucking utterly reprehensible scumbag. Like, check this shit out. I showed it to a couple people earlier.
This country on purpose.
Listen,
We're going to keep bringing in immigrants into this country on purpose, just so they can fuck your sister, and then maybe even your daughter. We're going to destroy the white race, bitch. That's what we're here to do. We're going to keep bringing in immigrants into this.
Good to know. Good to know. Fucking asshole.
I have been with
Listen to this. This guy's a fucking idiot. He's the head of the DNC chair now.
There are a lot of good billionaires out there that have been with Democrats who share our values, and we will take their money, but we're not taking money from those bad billionaires.
Dude, do you hear this fucking
there are a lot of good
this
billionaires
farce?
out
We're not taking money from those bad billionaires, though. What? Really? What kind of a fucking... What sort of champion for the little guy are you? The good... and who's going to decide who's the good and the bad billionaires? Like, seriously, who the fuck is this idiot? What a fucking jabron, man. Like, what an idiot. I love it, though. Oh, man, I got a couple of... Listen to this shit. Look at it. Royal Caribbean Cruises.
She came in my face. You see her come in my face. Get the fuck out of my face. I'll beat your
your ass. Beat your ass. Beat your ass.
Get the fuck out of my face. Get the fuck out of my face. Tell her to get out of my face. Tell this bitch get out of my face.
Like, bro, these fucking nasty women, bro, they are so nasty. Bro, they're literally everybody's worst nightmare. There isn't even other black people are like, oh my God, fucking shoot me. When one of these cunts, oh.
Tell her to get out of my face.
Bro,
tell this bitch what happened. Back up.
What's funny is, as soon as the woman starts backing off, look how and then watch how this colored woman, watch how her attitude changes, or watch how quickly.
Back up! Back up! Back up! What happened? Back up! Back up! Back up! What happened? What's up? What's up? What you wanna do? What you wanna do? What you wanna do? Oh, all right, right. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Stop nothing to do with you. Stop playing with me. I'm not the one. What happened? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? World star, baby! Fuck you, bitch! What happened?
You know what's funny, dude? One lick to the chin, and that fat ass blimp's gonna hit the deck. One time. It's so funny because they behave like they're fucking a heavyweight title from fucking Mike Tyson, bro. But they're a woman just like every other one, and I love the way that they act like they're a dude. They get all aggressive, like they're fucking Rampage Jackson or fucking Fedor or some shit. And every now and again, you hear somebody tag them up, bro, and they just fucking fold like a fucking, like about 300 pounds of chewed bubble gum. Big old, I love it. Fucking chewed bubble gum. Look at this. I feel bad for that guy. Black guy. Look, the other black people are like, bro, chill. Fucking relax. They really do, man. They really do. And they don't realize, okay, you prove to everybody that they don't want anything to do with you because you're so crazy. So, but it's like, that's all you've proven is that you're unfit to be around. You're unfit to live with as a human. And, we're social. That means something. On this shit. Check this out. This is crazy. Hey, the caption says, not a single rap song has cracked the Billboard top 10 in over a year. I'm starting to understand why. Yeah, no shit. This is trash. This is trash. Garbage. Only these fucking baboons like this bullshit. God, aren't they they're so tough. Look how tough these people are. Man, you wouldn't want to tangle with them.
Some peace, bitch, I want war. I got 99 problems, I need one more. Bitches wanna talk hot until I gun draw. They found the nigga body, but the case is unsolved. Sorry, I'm gonna touch you. Bitch, come outside, I'm gonna jump you. Bitch, come outside, you too scared. Bitch, come outside, I'm right here. Some peace, bitch, I want.
Man, you guys are just untouchable. So hard, man. So hard. I mean, they'll go to fucking prison to prove they're hard. They would rather go to prison for 10 years than anybody think that they're reasonable or intelligent, have any sense whatsoever. And see, that's what I was talking about with that Ryan Grimm. He has a fair point. Somehow we've gotten poorer and the rich people have gotten richer, or they've continued, accruing wealth. And all of us are selling wealth, are selling assets, like he said, exactly like he said, selling assets. Oh, this is excellent.
Thanksgiving is also a time that's incredibly painful for many people in our communities. My favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. Because I
There
love
you have it.
Thanksgiving. Yep. I don't want to cancel it. I actually love it. Thanksgiving is also a time that's incredibly painful for many people in our communities. My favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. Because I
There
love
you have it.
Thanksgiving. Yep.
You see how matter of factly, Thanksgiving, yeah. And I don't want to get rid of it. What the fuck? What kind of shit is this? It's crazy. How do we have politicians like this? It's outrageous. Oh man, check this shit out. Totally fucking tank drone dodging a flying drone. Bro, it looks like Age of Empires. What the fuck? This shit looks like a video game, man. Straight up looks like Halo Wars, dude. That looks exactly like the video game Halo Wars. That's so crazy, though. Tell me, isn't that not crazy? Modern Warfare, Ukrainian ground drone operator spotted a Russian drone and made a last moment maneuver to evade it. That shit went hard as fuck. Homeboy is a fucking getaway driver. That dude, hey, James Bond ain't got shit on that guy. He'd be a dead, no, he's not in the motherfucker. But seriously, though, that's incredible. Incredible. Looks like it really does look like a video game, though. That's what's kind of crazy. Oh, here's this stupid bitch. Look at me. Look how virtuous I am. I'm dancing with guys that want to rape me.
Okay, next guy.
Oh, she's American, too.
Next guy.
Look how virtuous she is, fellas. Look how virtuous she is. Yeah, it was a tank drone, yeah. I know. That was fucking crazy, bro. I can't believe that bitch is American. I thought she was Spanish. Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, what? But yeah, it's definitely real. It's not a video game. It looks like one from back like that. Bro, that is literally Age of Empires that's the game right there from that exact perspective. And Halo Wars. It's kind of like, do we live in a simulation? That's odd. It's rather odd. Or maybe it's because of the game and let's do it this way. I don't know, but that is sick, man. Fucking Ukrainian tank drone driver. Dude's badass at that for sure. Wow, why I don't regret choosing a vasectomy. One time you can be sure to see a white face on the BBC is when the British state is telling you to sterilize yourself. What kind of sick regime runs propaganda like this when birth rates are at all-time lows? The people that run the UK do not want whites to reproduce. Yeah, same thing with Europe in general, and the West in general. Actually, I think it's safe to assume, yeah, it's the West all the way around. Honestly. Anywho, fellas, that's it for me tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. It was pretty decent, I thought so anyway. Got off to a bumpy start, but had a pretty good showing here. Like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Drop a comment. If please do. It helps with the algorithm. But yeah, anyway, yeah. I think I'm gonna start streaming to YouTube Shorts, as well as TikTok and stuff next week on Monday. But couple new things. Anyway, fellas, hope you guys had a good week. Enjoyed the show, unwinding and whatnot. I might do a show this weekend. I don't know. Keep your eyes peeled. Till Monday, fellas. I will see y'all then. See y'all in the next one, brother. Appreciate it. Question. I tried. I thought it was pretty darn good too. Got off to a rough start, but I thought it was pretty good as myself. Anyhow, fellas, y'all take care. Enjoy your weekends. Don't worry.